everyone, long time no see. Hope you all are doing fine. Today I want to talk to you about something Joseph Campbell wrote about. He calls it the hero's journey. And the hero journey, he divides it into three phases. One is the separation phase, then there is the initiation phase, and the returning phase. So basically it's like the separation phase starts when you notice that what you are living in, it's not true. You know, like when you perceive that everything you've been told, everything you thought was true, is just a facade. It's just a show, you know, like we can see that in many movies, right? Like Matrix, for example, you know, with the red pill or blue pill. One will show you the reality, which is very tough and painful, and the other one will keep you living in this fantasy world and this perfect where everything is it's just an illusion, basically. The separation phase usually starts like with a very painful situation, very painful event. In Star Wars, in Star Wars, it starts with Luke's house burning down, you know, and it can be like a divorce, that you go through a divorce. It can be that there is death around you. Maybe you get fired from your job. Like you think it's the end, you know, you think like you come to a cross point where you don't know what to do anymore. And usually we perceive that as like a catastrophe, like something that it's that we don't want. But that's also normally what pushes us to change, you know, to take a radical change and force us out of our comfort zone. And then we go through the initiation phase, which he calls it the dark forest. It's like we're going through this dark forest and we are doing it alone, and it's scary. We don't know what to do. We feel lost, we feel lonely, we feel confused, we feel afraid, but that's part of it, and we have to do it alone, because if we follow someone else's path, it will not take us where we need to go. We can't copy someone. There is no recipe. We just have to find the strength to trust ourselves and find what he calls our bliss. And our bliss is what makes us feel alive. It is the one thing that you cannot not do, that you can't imagine yourself not doing it. And I think for many people, for me too, we know deep inside what that is, but we are afraid to admit, we are afraid to believe, and we are not sure because we have focused for so long on what we should do. And to find your bliss, you have to destroy all those concepts of what you should, what you should not, what you've been told that was better to do, what was not good to do. And I watched this documentary yesterday, I think. It was called Finding Joey. Not Joy, but Joey. And a woman in this documentary, she says something interesting. She said, if you don't know what your bliss is, go back to your childhood, something like that, and try to remember what kept you awake at night, what made you a weirdo, what made you stick out from the other children, what kept you awake at night, like that you wished so much you could do it. And I just like, whoa, that's so true, you know, because since I was very small, I was very poor growing up, so I had like really no chance to travel anywhere like outside the country, or almost not even in the country. But I always felt like I wanted to travel, but not just like travel like everybody wants to travel, right? But like I wanted to live my life traveling around. and that I wanted to learn as much as I could to try to relieve people's pain and suffering and to teach them somehow. Sorry, I'm walking through the cemetery, actually, the graveyard. I'm in Sweden, Malmö, and the cemeteries are very pretty here. I'm going to a friend's, so yeah. And I always people used to call me a nomad. I joke that I was like a gypsy or a nomad because I loved to travel. Actually, I even tried to flee, to escape home many times when I was very small. Once I found this group of gypsies close to my house, and I asked them to take me with them, but they didn't. They said they couldn't do that. But yeah, and I always wanted to heal people somehow. I didn't know what I could do. So for a while I thought I would study medicine. Or for many years I wanted to study medicine. I even got into to medical school in Sweden, and I studied some years of a researching program to try to become a researcher. I did almost the whole thing except for my practices. But I felt somehow that was not it, that was not how I should do it, not for me. It's very important and relevant, but it was not my call. But anyway, what kept me awake at night was I was imagining all of those places that I could go, that I wanted to see, all those people I wanted to meet, and what I could learn from them, from different cultures, from excluded tribes and people. I wanted to climb the Himalayas mountains, Everest, and go to the desert, to many deserts. I have been now to Sahara and to some mountains and stuff, but I feel like that's my call, and then to share my experience and what I learned through life with other people. But for each person that's different. Everybody has a different call, and nobody can tell you what's right for you. And even if everybody around you thinks you are crazy, if that's what you should be doing, because you might succeed or not, but I promise you that you will be happier like that. And then so there is the separation phase, right? The initiation phase, where you have to find your bliss. But once you find your bliss, that's not over. Once you find your bliss, you have to slay the dragon. And the dragon is all the insecurity within you, all of your fears, all the negative thoughts, everything that you tell yourself, all the whys, why you can't do it, I can't do it because of that, all the excuses. That's the dragon you have to slay. In this documentary they mention in Star Wars 2, in the end when Luke cuts Darth Vader's head, what he sees when the head rolls down and he take out the mask, it's his own face, Luke's face, his own face, because the whole time what he was fighting was himself. He had to conquer his own monster, his own devil, and that's what we have to do. We have to slay the dragon so that we can follow our bliss. And then once we found that bliss and we pass through the initiation phase, there is the returning phase. And the return phase then is when you teach, you spread what you have learned. And that is also different for each person. Some people maybe they will they can communicate, express themselves better through writing. So maybe you will write articles, you will write blogs, you will write newspapers, books. Some people maybe taking pictures and sharing that with the world through images. Some people maybe through making videos and talking and seminaries, and yeah, but you have to return what you learned. And Joseph Campbell says that this hero's journey is not done only once. Like you do this circle many times, through your life, and you go through separations again, you go through initiation, and then you return home again, and that circles continues when you pass it on to other people as well. So, but the most important is to like start somewhere. If you noticed, if you felt the separation, if you feel that what you are living is not what you were meant to be living, or not what you want, what makes you happy, start small. If you don't know yet what your bliss is, start like by doing small things that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel joyful. And in those moments when you are doing things that are making you feel joyful, that makes you feel happy, just pay attention, be present, and you will find out what you need, what your call is.